electrical and HVAC.
So welcome back to the Bold, White, and Blue podcast. Let's take a quick second here to say thank you to all our supporters and viewers and people that are reaching out to me. It's already getting exciting.
That's awesome.
Yep.
It's good to hear that even in the early stages, because that's when you're at your worst per se.
Yeah.
Like you're learning, you're beginning that people are already liking it. So that's
getting a ton of
good.
support from the community. And that's what this was about.
Right.
You know, I just can't wait to get some of these guys up here. Unfortunately, we have to talk about ourselves a little bit longer.
Okay.
So everybody knows our company inside and out.
Right.
Like we want to be very transparent so that everybody says, hey, if they can do it, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So today, man, this is going to be about you.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, Josh.
Yes, sir.
What's your last name, Josh?
Guy.
Josh Guy.
I'm that guy, that Josh guy.
He is that guy.
I've heard every variation of that.
Yeah.
Forever.
So I was going to talk a little bit about your role today. Okay. I want to just talk about your background and how you kind of fuel ACE's growth as creative director for us, and go from there.
Sounds good with me.
You up to that?
I'm up for a challenge.
So we're going to do that. We're going to kind of show how the systems work here, how your creativity influences our company, and we're just talking about how your organizational skills kind of fuel, a company, even a small family company, Mm-hmm. So what was it like when you first came and did an interview here? You're like, oh my goodness, this is such a small little operation.
I was nervous, of course. I mean, naturally. This is so far out of my domain of where I was, what I've done in the past.
Yeah.
Originally, I'll tell you why I was nervous. And this is putting you on the seat a little bit.
Oh, come on, man. I'm an easy interview.
You're an easy interview.
Okay.
But I didn't know you other than a couple times of seeing you.
All right.
And then I just had heard stories.
Yeah.
So, my wife and my brother-in-law, I just heard stories from them because, they grew up with you more. So they knew you 50 times more than I did.
Yeah. I remember coaching your brother-in-law in football.
You did?
I did.
Really?
You didn't even know that,
I didn't even know that.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't even know that part.
Yeah, I sure did. Ask him a story about me chasing him down the sidelines with a belt.
You couldn't catch him, though, could you?
Back now I was pretty quick back then.
Okay.
I was about 40 pounds lighter, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's like, man,
ask him the story,
I'll speed
though.
you. You ain't got me.
He's fast.
Yeah.
He's fast. Oh, Darian can get after it now.
He can.
Yeah.
And Caleb, too.
And I knew
Caleb's
that.
quick.
See, he was taking some off, and I was like, hey, man, look, if I catch you, I got a belt in my hand.
There you go.
He was moving on.
But I just heard those stories, growing up that about like, oh, Justin, oh, he's intimidating. Like if he don't like you, like
Well,
you're
that's awful, man.
Not in a bad way. I mean,
Yeah.
as you're a business owner, that comes with its own. The kids are gonna call it aura nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drip? Or would that not really be drip?
You don't have to have.
leave that
Yeah,
one. Let's leave that
we
one
talked
alone.
about that one
Yeah.
last time, but
Yeah.
just hearing those stories, and that was my idea of like, oh, this is the interview I'm walking into. Like the kind of guy who's like,
A little austere,
if you're not performing for me right this second in my business, you gone, man. Like, so I mean,
Josh, we're performance based. You know that, and
yeah.
any company has to be to make it. Like the margin of error is so small that you have to have the right guys, and you have to have guys who are willing to perform. But now that you know me, would you say that I give some latitude there?
Absolutely. Like the person I've come to know, while it does match some aspects of it, like that you're not just going to be thrown over type person.
Yeah.
You do work very well to make the other person better too. It's not like, oh, you're just not really doing it right now for me, so I don't really care about you. It's not that at all.
Good. Good. I appreciate that because that as a business owner, that is one of the things that you just don't want to be known for. It's just being hard all the time. You want to be cool once in a while with somebody.
Right.
So what drew you to ACE anyway? I mean, because you were at the time, I think you were working for UPS or something like that.
That was the job I had right before.
Okay.
So I had been out of work for a couple months at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can go into that a little bit as far as, I was working.
This is your show, man. I mean, it's all about you.
Yeah. I was working at UPS, which for many people, they hear that and, well, I guess a lot of people don't necessarily know it, but when you are in that company and you get to a position, like you become a driver, and I was what's called an RTD driver. So I would drive half of the year.
Right.
It was like a driving contract per se. Half the year you're in the warehouse, and then during busy season you're in a truck driving. So June through January. And once people get to be a driver, they're there for life. And that was my father-in-law. That was his situation, is work for the company 30 something years, finally has retired, finally hung up the boots and the dyad and everything. But that's the type of job,
a good paying job,
great paying job.
Yeah.
I mean, I received a lot of flack when I left that job.
Yeah.
From like my parents, like more like my dad and everything. Like, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? You're throwing away your life.
So on that note, I remember even interviewing you and knowing that your job description was a bit nebulous at the time, and thinking, man, this guy has a great job. I can see he's a great guy, very smart, but am I going to be able to give him opportunities that equal or are greater to now, because you're young. You don't have to tell everybody your age if you don't want to, but very, very accomplished for your age. So that I remember that even being a concern for the employer. A lot of times people don't even think about the employer is as concerned about your future and the promises we have to make you. Like, I don't want to hire somebody and it be a downgrade for their life. I just don't want to do that. So that's where you sometimes will hear employers say, well, I think you're overqualified, because that's the thing, because they're overqualified and you can't stimulate their mind. It's not even about money. Would you agree here that the money, if you did not have something engage you, the money would not be worth it?
Well, that was part of the reason for leaving UPS. So to tell that story and fast forward, it had a severe impact on my family life. Great job. Everybody looks at it as like, man, you're set. You're going to be making $120,000 plus a year, incredible benefits. Like, you go there to die.
Right.
And that's understood.
Yeah.
And the other side of that,
how do you process that? Because I'm such I was such an entrepreneur, and I've been, I was a builder. I was up in the mountains framing houses in my young days on the coast. I used to see guys like that, and there was no amount of money in the world that could coax me into a place like that. Yeah. A plant, can you give me a little peek into that window? Like,
sure.
Like is that interesting to people?
What, driving? Or
just being into an organization that is a 30-year deal of the same routine.
They called it the golden handcuffs for a reason.
Okay. Yeah, I have heard that.
It is a very secure job. It's hard to get fired from that job unless you completely go off the rails and do something just severely inappropriate, or like, hey, I'm stealing people's packages, or so obviously something that's just immediately like you're gone type scenario. You're very well protected. I mean, it's a union job. You sign that union contract, and they literally go to like union court and fight for you if you get in trouble. So you're protected. And that was the draw, is the security, the stability financially, to just be there and put up with it.
And wear brown every day.
And wear brown every day. My wife said I looked awful in that brown.
Huh?
I thought I looked okay.
Thought you pulled off the brown.
Some people were like, "Man, you're like Top Gun Maverick over here," because you had that leather jacket with the bomber jacket.
The bomber jacket
is very. You look like a flight, a fighter pilot type look.
Gotcha.
Brianna said I looked terrible in the brown. She was like, "That's not you." I was like,
So I think that's all right. I coached baseball with a guy who's a UPS driver. And he'll even show up to baseball practice sometimes because he's pushed, his schedule's pushed. He had I think 150 packages or something yesterday to deliver, 160 something packages to deliver. I remember asking you, and you said, it can be good, can be bad. It's not the end of the world. It's pretty normal, right?
Depends where you're at. If it's a city route, like if you're Greenville side doing Simpsonville or tight neighborhoods, 160's fair.
I'm always amazed. Like he'll be like, we got a baseball tournament. I think I may take Friday off. I'm like, man. That's cool. And I guess you guys have a pretty good system where you have backup drivers and things like that.
And that was me. I was the backup.
So you'd have been the guy jumping in the truck.
I would have been the guy suffering.
Gotcha.
And it's all seniority based. So you stick it out, you get rewarded for that. if you're new like I was, you get destroyed day after day after day. I didn't have a set route, so I bounced all the way from, Simpsonville, tight neighborhoods, cookie cutter houses, all the way out to being right at the North Carolina line, where I'm driving that truck down what looks like a hiking trail.
And you were a student at the time. That you were working for UPS, or was that prior to? I know. So when you came to work for me, you were in college or doing some college courses, right?
Yeah, and that we can go into that whole journey also if you want to.
Yeah, we'll get into that here. Yeah. I mean, go ahead. I mean, because obviously I didn't go to college, and it's I've been served well. I mean, I've always kind of wanted to be able to say, hey, hang that plaque on my wall. But it would have made zero difference in my career. Outside of, the connections, which I know college is known for. So tell me, I know I talked to you recently and asked you, did you want to go ahead and finish? And you're kind of like, not really. I think that I'm solid. And you're able to develop without it. Is that something you still think, or?
I'd like to do it to finish it, to have that box checked, if you will. But as far as career impact, it's not going to do anything for me. And it's part of the irony in it is, initially, went to high school, finished everything like that, was on the trajectory to go to a 4-year university, and some nice ones on the list, like applied and it got accepted to the Stern School of Business at New York University, Columbia University, like the Ivy League school, got in, accepted, and because I wanted to go to New York. That was my plan for my life.
What field did you want to take there in New York?
It was business.
Business, okay.
It was the Stern School of Business as a sales and marketing major with a minor in business management.
So this job is a fit for you.
It's right up exactly what I was going to school for. But I don't have that degree. Spoiler alert, I didn't finish. I did. Honest
question.
Yeah.
And hey, look, I haven't asked you this before. Do you feel like not having that certification or degree is going to handicap you at this company?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Have you been able to see financial compensations and all that stuff the way you would project a college grad to have?
Definitely.
Good.
I think it's a natural progression of what I would have fallen into anyway.
Right.
I'm not necessarily ahead of the curve because I screwed up a lot in my college.
So we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just
fine.
had a brain flash. Let's label this podcast Owner of Ace Does Not Need College Managers or something like that.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Because, how many people are really brilliant and circumstance, maybe a child came along or, marriage or finances, whatever the case is, and they never get that shot. Like, what if there was more companies like me that said, I'm going to pay college salaries and more to guys that will just appreciate it and utilize their God-given talent and let us help cultivate it.
Right. No, I think it's, you asked me, do you feel handicapped because you don't have that?
Yeah.
In reality, I feel I would be handicapped if I did have that. And here's why. You've dealt with a lot more than I have, but from the glimpse I've gotten into people who do have those marketing degrees, who have went to those institutions, they all are telling you the same down the line. And it's, to us, is not a good same.
Expound on that a little bit because I think I know where you're going with this. So for instance, we'll say like, we monitor maybe our visibility on the website, or we monitor, how Google ads are the return on investment there. Every business owner probably does. And then we ask the questions, whether it's one marketing company or the other, can you get me on the first page of Google? The answer is always yes, but it takes time. We feel that's not true, right? Or yes, it just takes money. Small amount of truth. But it's always cliche. There's a never-ending timeline for getting results. And the amounts of money are always consistent. They're going to collect their paycheck to guarantee results. It doesn't matter if the arrow is down or up. So we, I don't want to say too much about how our internals right here now. You can expound on those maybe at some point, but we have taken all that stuff in house. I say we, I say that loosely. You have taken all that stuff under your umbrella, and I see arrows trending up everywhere. Google My Business, the ads, the SEO. We actually, got another SEO call last night, SEO Direct. And it's kind of ironic because we're doing nothing with the site, teaching us and verifying what we already believe, that SEO is created through truth. You really got to be boots on the ground. You really got to be doing these jobs. You really got to be delivering these results. You really got to have information and be an authority. And Google and AI can recognize it now. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think what they are taught, and this isn't exclusive to marketing as a degree. I think it's every degree. This is a very hot button topic. People, we can have this discussion. We can have this debate. I think they're not going to learn how to do their job effectively. They're going to learn how to follow whatever indoctrination that university wants to give them. So the marketing world has become this sameness that you see from, like you said, every company is going to ask you the same set of questions. Who are you? What do you do? It's like, okay, yeah, it's very vanilla. It's very systematic, but that's how they were taught. This is how it's supposed to go.
So I think I asked you the other day or yesterday, I said, Josh, could you do what you do for me for 10 other companies? You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At the same time?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
No.
And why?
I don't have enough hours in the day to put in that kind of level of commitment.
I see the level of commitment that you give to us. There's coming out a sneak preview. There's going to be a TV commercial coming out, right, with a poem that you wrote. The whole bold, white, and blue branding. We can get into some of that, how those ideas came about a little bit later. But all these things that you literally probably, almost sleep, eat, drink, breathe. How can you do that for multiple organizations effectively? Which now answers the question, as we're engaging in this, it's answering to me why we're always being asked for content. I wish there was like a show of hands type deal or a thumbs up thing that we could see how many builders or how many contractors, how many owners of businesses you hire a marketing firm for many thousands of dollars a month, and they're always asking you for something else. Hey, can you say, what's your creative for the month? What's your specials for the month? Tell me a little bit more about you. What designs would you like me to use? I'm like, if I want to do all that, that should have been handled when you should be sitting here in my office for the amount of money I pay you, watching, observing, creating, and telling me what the world's perception of this company is and how to alter that. Right. That's your job. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And how do you do that for many companies? Some of these marketing companies and firms, I know we have them call us and they have the identical same business in the same exact footprint, so the same areas of town, and they might have 5 plumbing companies that they market for. You tell me how that's effective marketing for anybody.
Right.
It's a race to the bottom, I think.
Right. And I told you in that conversation, I'd rather love the brand that I work for than have 10 brands that I don't care about at all and have no buy-in, no investment. There's nothing within me that connects with it. And to relate that to the college side of things, because I switched my major. I went to Clemson University for one day. I walked up to my first class. It was a chemistry lab, slap full of people. I was late. Just typical me. I was late. And I dealt with a lot of anxiety, self-confidence issues, a ton of those things. My body would not let me open that door and walk in late on day one. So I sat outside that class and just went through it in my mind. Like, what are you doing? And just sat there outside on a table. Like I wasn't supposed to be in that room.
So you say you went through it. What were the thought process like? Is this for me kind of stuff, or?
I don't remember exactly, like down to specific questions. It did come up later in a conversation with my dad. He said, why are you doing this? Why is this your degree? Are you doing it to make money, or are you doing it because you love it? Which it has become very wise words, especially looking back. And I had to sit on that. I had to think about that. And I changed my major. I took a year off and became an English major after that. So, and it switched to, hey, I want to go be an English teacher and eventually be a writer and a college professor. Like, that was my love.
So what you're doing here, you write for us, you write content. You handle aspects of our business more and more every day outside of creative content. It seems like this is like right in your wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
And every day that goes by, as the owner of the company, I can see that, like, you know, you're a fit. You're gonna make our business better. You're gonna change the way we do business. I visited Jimmy Hiller's place there in Nashville, Tennessee. He's probably one of the largest privately owned plumbing, HVAC, and electrical companies. And I remember seeing his marketing department. He had a similar setup, maybe like this, that they did their commercials and stuff. And I remember his directors and stuff being there. They were all dressed nice. And I was like, man, like, why does a plumbing company need, you know, these type of guys? Like, they're smart. You can tell they're smart and everything looks good. But I mean, is that necessary? At the time, we were making great, you know, profit margins and things like that. It didn't make sense to me. But when we try to scale, we try to grow, or we try to, we be an influence the community maybe a little bit more, those things matter. And that was one of the things that you told me. You said, hey, I love going to work dressed up. And that's not for everybody.
It's not.
I hate it. I hate it, man.
I love it.
I mean,
it's me.
So let me ask you this. When I come into work dressed like this, you know it's game on up here.
I know we're getting into something.
We're going to get into something.
Yesterday I saw a hoodie on, and I was like, oh,
he's going outside
I'm not
to
getting
work.
him today.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing his face. Like,
and that's me. I mean,
Yeah,
the hoodie,
yeah.
jeans, and boots, that's who I am. But you're not every day. Like, I come in sometimes, and we have nothing planned, and you're in a suit. You like that?
I do.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Where
always
did that,
me
where,
either.
was that always, tell me where that started, because,
I'll tell you exactly where it happened.
okay.
So up until, it all changed basically. It's summer of, I think, going into 10th grade was where I had a massive shift in my self-image and everything. Before that, I was showing up to class in a t-shirt and ball shorts or sweatpants or some, you know, very dressed down, casual, what every high
Right.
school boy is wearing, or at least in the time. I don't know what they're wearing now, but
I think it's called ice cream drip or something.
yeah,
Pink and
we weren't.
anyway.
It's
go
a
ahead.
different thing
Yeah.
now, but you know, like I said, I dealt with a lot of that self-confidence problem, and something just shifted in me, and basically I made a very conscious decision. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change the way I look because I don't like how I look. I didn't like the person I was. Is how you look everything? No, it's not. I know it's not. But for me at the time, that was a big thing to make that swap.
How do you think that translates into your business success? Like, how do you think that translated when you came to talk to me? Do you think that
you told me how it
I did.
It did.
I don't remember if I told you that. Okay.
Well, at least the part that I know, and you may have had a deeper thought process on it, but you know, I showed up with, if I'm going to interview, I'm wearing a tie. I don't care where I'm interviewing. I could be interviewing at McDonald's, not to put down McDonald's workers at all, because that's a very necessary thing. But I would show up to that interview in a tie. It's a respect thing. You don't disrespect that opportunity by putting yourself immediately on the back foot and saying, like, I kind of care about it. It's like, I'm going to bring my best.
We should do our next episode on how to interview correctly.
It's a very important skill to have.
Because I get these amazing looking resumes all the time. I'm like, man, this is a on top of it plumber. And then they show up literally sometimes with their pants hanging off their rear end and, you know, holes in their shirt. asking me how much I'm going to pay. I'm like, there's no way you wrote this. AI.
Yeah. And it
AI,
says,
yeah.
it says two things.
Yep.
I don't respect you,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't respect myself.
It's true.
It really
And
does.
I think society wants to change that. They want to flip the script on that. And I don't think they're able, because even nature teaches us, the one that's taken care of, the one that's presentable is going to win. Mm-hmm. The one that's in shape. So those are little things that people can do. You can control a lot of things about your image. Mm-hmm. And especially if you're a creative director, you're trying to change the image, right? So why not start with you?
Right.
So I don't remember what I said. You were going down that road. Do you remember what I said?
But of where it shifted. And to just make that brief, I made that conscious decision. I'm going to start dressing different. I'm going to go get my hair cut, and this might get me laughed at, but
okay.
I don't even care.
We're kind of laughable.
I had that traditional, shaggy haircut, whatever that every, young boy has. I printed out a picture of Michael Bublé. I took it to the person cutting my hair. I said, I want to look like that.
Michael Bublé.
He has some clean looking hair.
I know exactly who you're talking about. The Christian singer, right?
He's like a Frank Sinatra, new age
kind
type.
of an indie.
At least that's where he was when I don't know.
I know who you're talking about though.
But that's what it was. It was just this whole shift, and I was the weird kid. I wore a tie to school sometimes. I did care because it was making that conscious decision, but it eventually became me, and that's who I was, and that's
now
what
that you're
I enjoyed.
out of high school, do people remember that about you?
They noticed it there, because 12th grade you get the superlative awards at the end of your senior year. I won biggest transformation and best dressed.
Very cool.
You had to pick one, so I was like, give me best dressed.
It's even more cool that college students observed it to that level. High school.
And they saw it, and it just became me. Like, that's just who I was. And people would say, man, like, you're gonna do this kind of job. Like, they would tell me that, that you're gonna go be a sales guy. Like, that just makes it fits you. Like, and another guy told me, man, if you never go to New York, you're making the biggest
mistake,
poor decision of your life. And in hindsight, it would have been a bad decision for me to go up there. I still got to go visit a few times, and I loved it. I'd still go back. If you say, hey, let's go on a flight tomorrow, let's go. I love it.
Yeah.
But it all just, that shift, and it made me who I am today.
So I'm gonna derail you a little bit.
Sure. Let's go for it.
That is exactly who you are. We wouldn't want you any other way. We don't want you in a t-shirt and boots. We've tried that. That's not a good fit either.
I was in the field.
You cringe, man.
2 days.
We're building a training center, and I asked you. I said, "Hey, man, come out here and help me just lift this wall." And it's man, just the
it's like pulling a tooth.
Sheer
out
disgust on your face.
No, did I really?
It was like, yeah. And then you lift the wall. You're like, I was like, oh yeah, that thing slid off. It'd kill you, man. And you're like, oh, I'm glad you told me now. Like, I need to get off this thing right now.
That's something I need to look at about myself and get better at, because those skills are necessary.
Yeah,
it's not all about being well grooved, but that side of things.
And someday somebody still got to solder those pipes together, right?
I got room to grow. Yeah, that's what I learned from that.
You just paint the picture, and we'll go make it happen.
We got our places in this world.
So when you came here, did you see opportunity? Because I know when I interviewed you, I said, basically I'm gonna have you help basically with, I think, our smart financials at the time. The daily finance, financial decisions. So we have our report cards and some metrics and things that we use to performance-based metrics. And you're just basically going to kind of help me do a lot of data entry and reporting back to me. That lasted a little while, and then we moved right on into price book and stuff like that. I know that gave you a lot of insight into the company, especially building that price book. You got to understand what a lot of the parts were. And we've put a lot of work into that. You put a lot of work into that, and it's super organized. Gives me a lot of confidence if a customer calls and feels that they may have been overly charged or whatever, to know that was thought out. 9 times out of 10, our pricing was correct. Not that nothing ever happens. Sometimes we get a technician that may overprice something, and we have to bring him back in and say, no, you don't use that line, or use this line item, what have you. But gave us a lot of insight into pricing. But that really wasn't where your true joy was. You were grinding it out in there, pushing through that. Did you see this opportunity coming or no? In marketing?
Not off the front end.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't see this as where I would end up, at least in the immediate.
Right.
I was just so excited to have the type of job that I had wanted.
Mm-hmm.
A 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 for us, where I can come sit in my office, wear nice clothes, what I want to wear,
Yeah.
and live that lifestyle.
Gotcha.
I was very attracted to that because it answered a lot of questions from the problems I was dealing with before, like my family issue. I would walk in, the worst day I walked in to my house from UPS, I walked in the bedroom, looked at the time on the clock, and it was like 11:57 at night. It was almost the next day, Justin, when I got off work.
Yeah, it's tough on a family.
You can't. And that was with a little bitty there. We just had one at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Regardless of that paycheck that I was bringing in. Like, just not it. So to go back to your question to answer it, I didn't see it immediately up front. But I'd say it's in me. Like, it's there. You hope for that. I knew that you were in charge of the marketing. And I think I may have just brought some stuff to you. Was probably my first introduction where I was like, hey, I was just been thinking on these things. Let me
I remember
pitch this.
I remember what it was. We were sitting with in a Zoom meeting with our marketer because of the financial side of it. So, what we wanted to spend per, I can't remember now, maybe SEO versus Google ads versus creative content versus targeted ads, whatever. I can't remember what it was, but it had to do with the financial side. And you're sitting there listening. About three meetings in, you're like, man, I don't think this is something that you need to pay a lot of money for. Like, I think we can do this. Like, what about this? What about this? This doesn't make sense. This isn't adding up. And it was a good marketing company. Make no mistake about it. But there again, they also market for a lot of people, some big companies. So did they lose heart? Or did they not care? But at that point, that's where as a marketing company or an owner of a business, if you've lost interest in a customer, just tell them, part ways. So anyway, that's what evolved. But so you've been instrumental in several systems with us. The first one I would have to say was the price book, the first full system implementation. How do you think that helps a company and gives opportunities when you're able to develop, systems? Does that open up doors for people? And explain kind of what you saw happen in our company when you actually cleaned a process up start to finish, because most business owners start a process, they have it work reasonably well, have some success, and it never quite gets finished.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Systems go. Like, implement your systems. Figure that out first, because if you're not, you're never going anywhere. It's gonna do this constantly, up and down, because you're not giving yourself your own foundation to stand on, and your foundation ends up actually being your springboard to grow further and further and further exponentially. My perspective on it is, I want to give everybody else in this company, like more specifically technicians with the price book, I want to give them the least amount of things that they have to guess about, so that they can minimize their tasks at hand and do them perfectly to the best of their ability. They're not worrying about, I got to take care of this job, but also I got to figure out how to price it, and then I got to figure out how to do it. They're bouncing, and it takes them out of their lane.
100%. Because even as a technician, the hardest part of the job is getting the pricing right. You want to work. You want to fix the problem. You don't want to pull out of that customer's driveway, and you don't want to be told you're too high. You don't want to leave money on the table. So that's one of the hardest things a technician or a business owner ever does, is establish pricing. Do you want to give any insight into how you work through some of that?
Sure. A lot of it is leaning on people more knowledgeable than me. I have to, for lack of a better word, I have to be humble in my position to say I don't know everything on the technical side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not a technician.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm here to do.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't put me in a truck.
No.
It would last 10 minutes and I'd be like, we got to figure something else out because
sure.
this ain't working.
Right.
So I did have to lean on you, on Shane, our ops manager,
Mm-hmm.
on David, our HVAC like guru, you
Mhm.
know, just anybody and everybody I could pull information from,
Mhm.
pull that information. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to fake that. I'm not going to go in there and sit and be like, yeah, he put me in this role. I'm terrified because I've never had this job in my life before. Let me just throw some stuff at the screen and make it work.
Right. So let me help our listeners get a little meat and potatoes here, because they're listening to us, and of course they want to know a little bit about me and you, but they also are kind of listening and wanting to glean a little bit of information, insight into our operations, I'm sure, and I'm going to give them some. What's your billable hour rate? Now you don't have to give them hours, okay, because it varies from company to company. So what is your billable hour rate? What does it cost your company to work every hour? Now, that doesn't mean you base that off an 8-hour day. That means how many hours a technician actually has boots on the ground working in a home, which may only be 2 to 5 hours a day, tops. Yeah, on an 8-hour day, actual work time. Take all your expenses, divide it by that number, and that's your billable hour rate. You have to know that. And that's something I know that you hear a lot with us, and that's something that the smart financials help us to identify is exactly what it costs for 1 hour of operation in this company.
Right.
So that's a big part. Number one, I mean, we can't base our pricing on nobody else, because no matter how good their pricing is and how many jobs they sell, if we're losing money on that, or an operation is built incorrectly or correctly, we have to do us.
So that's where I got it from. I just pulled it from everybody else, not from competitors. If you're chasing a competitor, you're digging yourself into the ground because you're not establishing anything about yourself. You're just following coattails of what somebody else is doing or has done or whatever. So I had to take the information we have in here and say, all right, I'm getting this over here, I'm getting this over here, and just streamline it into a way that I understand from the computing side of it, and putting it into a clean looking system that the customer can now see and be like, oh, that looks great. That looks nice. I don't get proposals like this. That's where I came in and just funneling information, especially from the start where I didn't have anything else to go off of. Now I have a lot more understanding.
Right.
And somebody called me right before this podcast and say, hey, I got this going on. Can you add this to the price book for me? Yeah. Give me 5 minutes.
Yep.
Give me 10 minutes.
Yep. And it's there
And I
forever.
can do
It's
that
accurate.
now. Right.
So right about the time you came to work here, AI was really starting to take off. You can ask AI, how much should I pay for a sewer drain replacement or sewer line replacement? It's going to give you a range. It's going to give you recommendations. Did you use any AI to double check us?
I think I use AI literally every day.
Yeah.
But it's how you use it that's important. Don't ask it to do your job for you. Let it be your tool of how you accomplish that job quicker, more accurately, and just utilize the tool. Don't let it do it for you, but ask it. Like, why not? What are you neglecting a resource for?
Why wouldn't you ask it when your customers are?
Yeah. They're going to double check us.
Yep. That's some solid advice, business owners. Solid advice. And if your answer isn't very close and you look at it and say, I can never make money doing that, then you have to dig deeper into the business, because many successful businesses are contributors to those numbers. How crazy was it when we checked our numbers against AI to see how close our data came to what AI came up
It was
with?
bang on.
It was almost spot on.
And I could look at it and say, ooh, for that, seems a little high. That could be my outside perspective. But that's because I don't understand the industry and how it actually works my mind.
Do you worry about it if a customer consults Google or AI about our pricing?
If I don't worry, I'm not doing my job.
Right.
I really feel that way. If I put a number in there and it's something that's high, that's something that I personally would look at and say, that's going to affect my life finances right now by making this decision. If I don't put my forethought into that and make it right, I'm doing you a disservice as the owner. I'm doing customers a disservice, and I'm doing myself a disservice.
And as an owner, there are things in our price book that we will not change or match AI on. Okay, I'm gonna give you one. Which could be drain clearing. I'm gonna tell you why. There's a lot of specials run out there as bait and switch tactics. 33 or it's free. You'll hear that sometimes, or 43 and it's free, or we can explain how they do that and what they're trying to accomplish and some of the gimmicks behind it. So we still have what it costs to run a jetter out there, right? And if someone says, well, I just looked it up on ChatGPT or on Gemini or on whatever, and it said it should be between 33 and 133. Then you know how to communicate that, right?
Yeah, it's all in establishing the understanding first and foremost. I'm not pulling these numbers out of a hat. I'm not making it up because it sounded good. And even from a consumer side, you can't just make it up because it's what you want to pay right this second either. That's not, this is kind of jumping ahead, but
fair to you,
fair to you, fair to me.
That's right.
That is probably the most quintessential phraseology of how we do things, at least on the pricing side. Well, actually, beyond the pricing side, everything we do.
Yeah.
Is it fair to you, and is it fair to me?
Yeah.
Because we're not in a.
It's always amazing how many times people say that's not fair. To who?
To who?
To you or to me?
Are we in a lose-lose? Are we in a win-lose?
I love it, man.
We have to be in a win-win.
That's right.
Because somebody's losing. In our transaction, we just made somebody a loser.
Yeah. And
do you want to be a loser?
We don't do that.
I don't want to be a loser either.
We might hear from time to time that they thought they paid too much, but when we walked away, we gave them a great product. We got them out of a bind, and we're dead on with industry standards,
right?
And it matches the actual cost of business. I mean, marketing, doing all these things, the trucks, the maintenance, the insurance, the training. I mean, man, that stuff, when you start adding it into our smart financials, it's amazing how it drives that billable hour up. That's why it's very important for a customer to put their plumbing company's name in their phone and call them direct from a number. Because every time you click on an ad, or every time you click on some of these external collection agencies, I'll call them, it costs the company a lot of money, which in turn, for companies like ours that monitor that pretty routinely, it drives the billable hour rate up for everyone. It's the same way insurance companies do us,
right.
So we're going to start maybe educating. I know we're looking at building an app for our customers and some things like that to be able to click call, because then we can actually track that, and we can offer discounted rates knowing we're not paying the marketing bill on those customers. So that's fair to them and it's fair to us, right? So we're going to pass those savings on. But I won't get ahead of myself on some of that stuff. What advice would you give business owners if they're not organized, if they don't know their numbers, if they don't really have? Because, I mean, before I even ask you that question, you started working here in what month? Do you remember? February. How many months? How many hours would you say we have involved in our we already had a price book when you came here for a long time, just going through and ensuring accuracy? How many hours do you think's involved with that? Working hours.
I can't give it to you in hours,
but months and
I'd
months.
have to give it to you in months.
Okay.
Probably 6 months. 6 months.
I know you worked, between Shane, myself, and you, probably 6 hours a day for 6 months. So, I mean, do the math.
Yeah,
on
you
that.
do the math.
Yeah, so what? So 6 hours a week, 5 days a week. So you're 30 hours a week, maybe 120 a month. So we're at 6 months. You're way up there, 700-800 hours involved in cleaning up an existing price book.
Yeah. To go back to a former question you asked me, what was ACE like when you came in?
Yeah.
Everything was fine for its time. Everything was necessary to get to the point we are now.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
I'm trying to go beyond what is just necessary to get a truck rolling,
Mm-hmm.
to get the technician through to complete a job, that's bare minimum.
I agree.
We have, we put up that billboard in Easily.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't understand that, we'll explain it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
because it directly compares to this. All of the words around the truck in that terrible font that looks amateur, it's not amateur. Like that's on purpose.
It is.
We put every word up there. Heating,
every
cooling,
cliche,
insured,
all the
best
jargon.
ever,
Yeah.
number one in the upstate, the choice of everybody. We're the preferred plumbing company. We're this, we're that, that is bare minimum. That is to be understood when you hire a plumbing company anyway. I shouldn't have to tell you that.
They should be insured. They should be bonded. They should be number one in the industry. They should be a competitor.
And that
a boss in it,
was what the price book side of things was when I came in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because it got the job done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
here
here
like
to
we
just
made too
get
many
it
mistakes
done.
in pricing, though. I feel like we undercharged slightly and we overcharged slightly. I feel like there were still inconsistencies, a lot of them. And that always nagged at me. I didn't really want to try to scale. I actually pulled back trucks because I wanted to make sure that we didn't hurt anybody or their family. I mean, not that it's not going to be that bizarre generally, but you want to just nail it, right?
Yeah. And that's what it is now. Like, I even went to the point to call it the ACE price book.
Yeah.
Because this is our system. It's not just a pricing system. It's not Service Titan's pricing system. It is the ACE price book. That's very purposeful, because that's ours now. It's what we've put into it to say, all right, it got us here, but let's make it us. Let's make it perfect for what we want to do,
Let me ask you this. If you were a one truck operator, let's say 3 trucks. So let's say a dad and a son and a helper, or, like what most average self-employed plumbers start out as, or maybe even stay for a long, long time because they're generally very profitable. What would be some advice to them as far as, getting organized? And if they came to you and said, well, I don't really think I need to do the whole billable hour rate thing. I just kind of know my pricing, or I don't really think I need a price book to that level, or I don't think I need to do any marketing. Like, what would your advice to that company be?
Number one, stop right where you're at. Look at the systems you already have in place. What are you doing? Don't worry about going outside of any of that first, because you're just adding more on your plate that you have to figure out later. So stop where you're at today and say, all right, we have a price book. That's what we use every day. We order equipment. That's what we do every day. We have tools. Like, figure out stuff that you do every day already.
Right.
And perfect those first. So
whatever you do the best you can do.
Do the best you can do, and stop worrying about
competitors.
Don't worry about competitors. Don't worry about what's my get rich quick scheme. Don't worry about what, a comparison is like, what supplement can I add to my stack to be better, faster? I want to lift more. And you research outside of what you already have going. It's like, let me find a better version of what I'm doing now. And, kind of derailed myself there.
That's okay. This is some some absolutely
just figure out what you're doing now.
Great points.
And another comparison point is, so Jordan Peterson, the guy I was talking to you about last time, one of his big things he tells people is clean your room. That's like what he'll start with people on. It's not, all right, let me tell you this. Here's what you need to be going out there and doing and chasing this and hustling here. He's like, back it up. Look at your already established system in your house in this analogy. Clean your room first, because that environment of what you're already around and what you have to be around every day, that's
that
making the person who does eventually go outside of that door.
I feel like we're doing some of that now. Cleaning the house a little bit.
It's cleaning that room. That's what Price Book was that was cleaning our room and going through all of that headache and hard trial of just like, all right, clean it up a little bit more today.
I'm gonna get off the subject just briefly, because it's a podcast. We can kind of talk about what we want to, right? So, I get asked all the time, am I going to sell the business? I mean, all businesses essentially could be for sale at some point, right? But one of the things that's happened as a result of this labor of work, it becomes a labor of love. And then you go back and think, is there a price tag for this? Or do you start to enjoy the business for more than money? And I think I'm at that point right now where we have been, offered, what would be ridiculous sums for the company. And I'm like, it's not worth that. I mean, I'm just a guy just trying to make a living for my family and my kids and a good culture for employees. But I'm starting to understand why people want to pay for businesses. It is a lot of time and work and heart that goes to making one customer happy. Mm-hmm. And you do it twice and 3 times and 100 times and 1,000 times and 10,000 times. And, you look back and you say, if it's paying my bills, I'm living a good life, my kids are living a good life, my employees are happy, and it's fun and it's creative, it's not for sale. Mm-hmm. It just can't be. Not yet. Mm-hmm. Not yet. So I don't know why that thought hit me, but as I'm going through these things, we've rebranded. You've helped us rebrand a lot. You've put into place, the bold white and blue. Mm-hmm. And that was a kind of a funny brainstorming we had there, but it was just resonated. Do you want to talk a little bit about the branding message that you've started to come up with for ACE and what it means?
Sure.
Okay.
Like you said, it was just the origin was me, you, and your brothers sitting around a conference table, just throwing stuff around and having
bold
fun.
White and blue trucks.
Yeah. It literally came from that.
I'm not a singer, but I can sing that one.
That's what it came from, and that's where it started. But it clicked. Mm-hmm. It was like you hear it, you heard it again, and you heard it again, and it started to resonate. And it's almost like we pulled something out of the sky.
But do you remember why we had to do that? I remember. All right, so we started ACE, got a little bit of local success, and there became a couple different other ACEs that popped up right around, within a couple years of that. And then we started noticing that people would ask us, they're thinking that they were hiring ACE hardware. Mm-hmm. When we were like, man, we've got to find a way to just separate a name like ACE from the hardware store, mm-hmm. and certainly from our competitors, who probably do a great job, but we still don't want to be confused with them, right? So I remember us sitting there and saying, what's unique about our trucks? And everybody has told me, like kids would, go to school, and some of my baseball parents would say my kids play spot the ACE truck. Mm-hmm. I noticed myself that I'm riding down the road and I see one cut across an overpass. That angle kind of catches your eye, and it's very simple. A lot of plumbing service companies, they have very, very nice trucks and very detailed wrappings and things like that. And sometimes they pass you, and I wonder what they do.
It's a lot going on.
Say very boldly that we are plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling. Mm-hmm. And it's just a bold white and blue truck mm-hmm. that says exactly what we do. And so we started playing around with that concept. Do you remember that?
Yeah. And just making that differentiation first, while we are making about ACE, we got to figure out what's the association that mm-hmm. breaks us from everything else. Mm-hmm. So we took that and we absolutely sprinted off with it. Yeah. I mean, it is in everything now. Yeah. But I love it. Yeah. Like, it makes so much sense, and to the point now where we're digging more out of it than what was originally even there.
Way more.
So much.
Way more. Yeah.
But there's a, as an English person, like loving literature and everything like that concept was actually taught to me by my 10th grade and 12th grade teacher. He would give the hardest quizzes on your chapter readings, and you learn why, but it was to check, did you actually read it? Mm-hmm.
Couldn't cliff note it.
He would ask you, like, what color tie was Robert Jordan wearing in this chapter when he went to talk to,
right.
Pilar, that kind of stuff. And you would have to be like, if you didn't read it, good luck.
Yeah. So Cliff Notes didn't cut it.
Cliff Notes did not cut it.
Cliff Notes when you're
Okay. And it was to avoid that, but also it's teaching you that every word and every choice matters.
Yeah.
everything has meaning, and or you can pull meaning out of everything if that's what you choose to do. So you would take it and say, all right, he wore a blue tie. You can figure out the meaning of that blue. Like he was
Hey, politicians do
in
it
a
all the
position
time.
of authority.
Right.
It gave that impression. He was trying to appear confident. He was, X, Y, and Z. Like, and that's what this mining, if you will, of that bold white and blue has become for us in our marketing discussions. It's like, what does it mean? And just having those messages clear, understandable, and it just all fits. It's really beautiful.
So you've watched my labors to try to find that one sentence or that one phrase that gave us that launching point. We labored with everything. You heard my first episode on another Cornforth enterprise. You heard a commitment to excellence. All those things are true, but it didn't really give you that creative directive. Like, this is where we're going. We're going to own this phrase. We're going to own that website. We're going to own that domain. We're going to own the color of our trucks. We're buying into our image 100%. We are no longer going to treat that as a liability, but create as an asset. Because for me, when you came here, you heard the discussion. Why such a boring name like Ace? Like, everybody has Ace. Like, how do you market Ace? The hardware store, and then we had the commercial, right? And how do we differentiate that? You see the bold white and blue trucks, and so, and then as cheesy as it may appear, it resonates and it brands little by little,
Right.
And you've even become where you have a storyline starting to become attached to Ace and the bold white and blue messaging. How important do you think a storytelling is to a company, even if you're just a plumber?
Story is everything.
The story's all.
Because everybody's life is a story. We live our life, and it gets memed sometimes, as far as like, oh, they're the main character. They're giving main character energy right now, and they think that, like, because they're walking out in the middle of the street and just like screaming something crazy.
Right.
They're like, oh, they're being the main character in their life. But
I haven't even heard that.
It's a thing.
That's funny.
But jokes aside on that, that's 100% true. Everyone is the main character in their own life, whether you want to acknowledge it that way or not. And it's not a selfish thing, like I'm the main character. It's not that. But that's your perspective. You view things as your beginning and your end. You don't look at it as some grandiose, like, everything before me and everything after me always. Like, that's not how you live your daily life unless you have that deep inner monologue with yourself and like have those thoughts. But it's matching people at their story and saying, like, tell me about you. That's just asking somebody to tell me your story.
It's been kind of proven that, even since the time of the ancients, that people enjoy story. Like, that's how families know their heritage. That's how people know a lot of how to do lots of things. That's how science knows what they know now. That's how medicine knows what they know now. It's been passed down. That information has been passed down from generation to generation, and to tell it in a story form just makes it that much more rich. Like, you say, well, Justin, how can you tell a great story about what I do? It's so boring. I just show up and fix people's problems. There's a hole in the ground. I dig it and I put it together. Well, there's a story. You have a story. When your time comes, how are your children going to talk about you? There's your story right there. And people want to hear your story. They want to know who's fixing the pipe in the hole in the ground.
And how it affects their story. Like, that's where we're at. That's where it's even more important. It's not just let me hear about you, but how do you fit as a side character into my story? That's what people care about ultimately.
Very interesting. Yeah.
And that's really all it is. It's like you're saying, the early civilizations, it was just oral tradition, like it's oral stories. They would tell these tales to make sense of the world around them.
So do you feel like Ace has a story?
We're hitting it now.
We're hitting it.
We're hitting it now.
You don't want to give a sneak preview, do you? To your Hallmark story. It's okay.
It's coming. It's coming very soon.
Okay.
it'll be out there, and people understand now what we're talking about, and it'll be that light bulb moment, it click for them. But
they're telling their story.
That's 100%. We're telling your story. We're telling your memories. That's all of what we're shooting for, and and that's what our story has become. Like we have our process of how we got here. Like, okay, I started this business on this day on 2017. And that's part of your story, but now it's so much deeper than that. Like we're right now we are past the prologue.
There you go.
This is chapter 1
right.
of like, oh wow, they're right.
And the cool thing about a story is it doesn't end till it's over.
Mm-hmm.
It evolves,
and then people carry it with them.
So you're Ace's troubadour.
That's a good word. I like that.
You like that, don't you? I'm digging deep for it. How would you grade my vocabulary?
It's impressive. It is.
Every now and then.
It's I think, troubadour. That a lot of people are probably like, what?
Okay. All right. Every now and then I like to test you. I might even spend some time looking it up to make sure that it
just double check it.
Just double check it.
Yeah. That's what I love.
So I do feel like Ace's marketing has become authentic. So for many years we struggled with that, as every company does. Like, man, it's just Ace, another commitment to excellence, and it felt like that jargon, and people can see through that. They just, who wants to hear we're the best? They just want to know your story, trust you. Nobody really cares who fixes their pipe as long as it's fixed, unless you have a story. And we noticed that, like, we had great customers, longtime customers, and just a little bit better catchy ad that popped over mine, and they clicked on it. That doesn't happen anymore with a good story. If they buy into your story and you deliver and your actions match what they heard about in the story, you can put my competitors can ping on top of my location all they want to, and they will just spend a lot of money with clicks, and I'll still get the call. And that's the lesson behind this. Like get your story, be authentic, be accurate, and deliver. Wouldn't you say? How do you keep? Because I know you kind of called me out on a marketing idea that I was like running with the other day. And you said, but is that your message? Is trust your message, or is something else your message? And if you want to go into that, because I wanted to just maybe ask you, how do you keep Ace's messaging authentic, and how important is that?
It's incredibly important. I mean, you have to make sure it is you. You're not just pulling something out because it sounds good. Like, oh, let's be this person this month, and then let's be this person this month. Like, just be you. That's such generic, cliche advice, but it's ultimately true. Like, it's cliche for a reason, because it is so true. It's about simplifying and clarifying your message. Like, this is who we are. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, there's 100 other companies out there, and you don't want them to go there, but
so you
that's
told me,
reality.
you said, Justin, we have two columns. On one side we perfect, on the other side we protect, and we do that by rolling out these bold white and blue trucks every day. And so we wrote a really cool door hangers, like, your neighbors trust the bold white and blue, do you? And I thought, Madison did a great job on them, and you come in there and you say, that's fine, they look great. Is that your message? Yeah, sounds good to me. But is that what you want our message to be? Or do you want to incorporate consistently, top to bottom, that we're here to perfect a home and protect a home through maintenances, through upgrades? Is that your message, or is just trust us your message? He said, and I think you said, like, the trust should be understood. Like, they're not going to let you perfect their home or protect their home if they don't trust you. Like, that's a wasted word. And you said that word kind of belongs on the billboard of wasted words in marketing. Good point. We go back in there and we say, hey, redo that door hanger. And she wasn't necessarily happy about it. We had to bring her on board that said, hey, look, if we do a piece of advertising anymore, it is going to say our message, and we're going to do it 100 times to make sure that message is not missed. And then we can keep that piece of marketing forever.
Right.
My word of advice is to start to actually spend more time in marketing and advertising, because you spend so much money even just getting it in print. Well, why are you going to waste it?
Mm-hmm. Like, stop diversifying your portfolio. A lot of financial people would say that's horrible advice. Don't listen to this guy. But in your message, in your story, let me put it to you like this. If you're reading a novel, it introduces the character in the first chapter. It introduces the setting. So you're a gunslinger in the Wild West in chapter 1. Great. I'm in for a Western book here. Like, buckle up, let's do it. If it gets to chapter 3 and you are in outer space with an alien, what are you talking? Where am I? And what am I reading right now?
Hey, I hope our viewers see what I deal with every day. This guy takes concepts that you are so boring, and he makes them make sense. Like that's exactly what it is, though.
And there are good books like that.
Yeah. Like
Kurt Vonnegut. I love him. Got a line on my body from Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
And he does that in his books, but that's his point. To make it like, what is happening right now? This is like crazy sci-fi. What is going on?
Yeah.
And you enjoy the ride, but that's not marketing. That's not a good business decision to do.
To me,
that.
that's like a funny piece of advertising. Everybody gets a kick out of, but do they remember the brand? Mm-hmm.
Right. Somebody asks you what the book is about. You're like, I don't know.
I don't know.
But if it was a cowboy Western and it followed that story the whole way through, kept the same character, the same story, you would have complete understanding, and you could relay the story back to me with clarity. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah.
I agree. I have a few more questions for you, Josh. I know you probably want to get after some things, but how do you stay motivated in a company that seemingly is already doing well? I mean, the trucks go out, calls come in. What keeps you going here?
I love what I do. Like, it really is that. There's no secret sauce to that. Do what you love. If you don't love it, think elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because if I came in here and I hated it, if I was stuck in Smart Financials 24/7 every day, what's the lifespan there?
Right.
I mean, I can't tell you that answer now because I'm doing something completely different, but it has evolved into something that I love coming to work to do.
That's awesome.
That's not me just, tooting your horn and being like, Ace is great. Ace is great.
Yeah. Well, it's your podcast, so you can kick me off here if you want to.
No, not at all. Not at all. But it's a genuine thing to the point where I'll go home and talk about it. She's like, I don't want to hear about work anymore. I don't want to hear about Ace. I don't want to hear about what you and Justin did.
That's when you know you love what you do.
Right.
When your wife can't stand it anymore.
and it keeps me going. I'm like, man, it's Thursday already. Man, it's Friday already. Like, ready to get after it. Ready to get in here. Like, what are we going to come up with?
I know.
That's what I carry into it. So I'd love to give people some secret answer of like, wake up, you take your alpha GPC and your L-theanine and your, this mental supplement stack, and you're gonna love it. Like, that's not.
It's not how life works.
It's not how life works.
No.
I do take things like that. Like, I drink a pre-workout and come out here in the morning and early before work and just make it happen.
Yeah, that's something people don't know about you. You're pretty consistent with your weightlifting.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about that too, is like, I wouldn't keep showing up every day and put myself through that and do it if I didn't love it.
Yeah. What do you feel has been the most instrumental tool, book, practice to help you organize ACE? I mean, if you had to pick something that you think really, I know which one I'm going to pick for you, but you tell me which one you think.
Can I reveal something about myself first?
That's what it's about, man. People want to know who you are.
I am about the least organized person.
That's hilarious.
In the world. So I was the student who would show up to school and the teacher would be like, all right, everybody turn in your homework. I'd be digging through my backpack, finding a crumpled up ball in the bottom of the bag.
I can't imagine
That's
that.
me. I did not have the nice binder opens up and it's organized and
but
clean,
you like that.
pressed.
You recognize that as something you weren't and you wanted to be that.
I do like that.
Yeah.
And I do implement it. Like my wife kind of makes fun of me because she's like, you're so like clean, particular, like with yourself. Like, I got something. I gotta go wash my hands real quick. Like, she teases me like, you're a little bit of a germaphobe, kind of.
Yeah, right.
But I do see the necessity in that, and that is in me, and it just comes out in different ways of like being put together, clean, organized, that type of thing, that type of stuff.
That's funny.
And now I'm growing more into it.
Well, you do a fine job organizing.
To learning it, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as a book goes,
a book, a tool, whatever. What do you think has helped you formulate? Can I tell you what I think it is? And I don't know who the author is. Maybe you know it is.
I'll let you go first. Sure.
I think the book Story Brand.
Yeah.
I think that clues you in as hard as anything you can do.
It's helping a lot. It's with what we're doing now.
Who wrote that book? So our readers know.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know off the top of my head who wrote it.
We need to ask Senor/Lee.
Senor /Lee.
Yeah.
Luke said, "Who's Mr. /Lee?"
Yeah, we're gonna ask Senor /Lee.
He asked me. But while you're looking that up,
I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna just look it up right here. Story Brand, because that's a really good one for our listeners to look up. If you implement it, it's going to drive you crazy, but the light bulb one day will go off, and it may take months. I mean, I've been working at this for years. So
it's just building a
Donald Miller's book Story Brand. Look it up.
Yeah,
I have a copy. Great. You have a copy. The message is strong enough for me not even worry about the author, but for you to find it, that's it.
I'd probably say if I had to give you some. I haven't read these books all the way through, either one of them, but I listen to these people's podcasts and their presentations or anything that they're in. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. I mean, the messaging in that, like I said, I haven't read the full book, but I mean, he expounds that message that's in that book in a lot of things he does. Phenomenal. 12 Rules of Life. That's where I got that clean up your room type rule from that Jordan Peterson. That's one of his things. And I'm gonna let like you let the cat out of the bag the other week about the bistro. I'm gonna let a cat out of the bag. The Art of War.
Oh yeah.
If you want to dig 100%. Deeper into your business or your marketing or however, you're gonna think I'm silly. Read The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Oh yeah, even the guerrilla marketing stuff we've been talking about, like that's all in there.
And it gives you such a great insight in the mentality, because this is warfare. It's not. I understand that we're not literal troops on the ground, and there is.
But we're competing.
A difference.
We're competing for space every day.
But we have to put on that same mindset and apply it to what we do.
Right.
Because if you're not, you're getting beat.
Yep.
Straight up. Sorry. You're not going to have an advantage anywhere if you don't put that in your mind. So I'd say read The Art of War. That did a lot for me, like learning and growing into a leadership position.
I want to give a word of encouragement too, real quick on that, because, if you go back and read The Art of War, there's so much in there. But, just because you're small, it can seem overwhelming, almost a David and Goliath scenario to fight with larger competitors. It's not. It's super easy. Tell your story, be yourself, do good work, and you will have to grow. Now, big on big gets to be a little tougher. That's where it gets a little tougher. But even then, the best checkbook does not always win.
No. It's like you said earlier about, companies will and have dropped pins on our location to try to buy us out of Google space. Are they going to win because they did that?
Yeah.
No.
They don't have a chance.
You'd love it to work that way. It'd be as simple as the biggest bank wins.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt in today's time.
It doesn't hurt,
but they have their own share of problems. So if you can outbuy, and you can with Google space, but your story doesn't need Google to tell it. People still talk. People still tell stories. Social media tells stories every day. So while Google has emerged as, it seems like, the icon, the pinnacle of how to do business, it still can't beat the ancient way. And I love that. You know, I think every small business owner, I know they're struggling right now. I know the market's down. I know it's slow out there. Use this time to identify your story. Clean your truck, sit at home, go fishing, and write your story. Or do what you do to relax, whatever it is, and find your story. And you're going to come out of this thing fine. With literally a stronger business than you ever thought possible. I've got great friends in the business that I just want them to win so bad. I know they're dealing. I mean, we know when the economy's up, down. We know when shoulder seasons are, but we see all the cycles. But we do know that they need to step up and tell their story a little bit better. And that's our message.
Right.
Yeah.
And life's going to give you that time. Life's going to give you that space. And you tell this to the guys to give a little peek into the meetings, which we should record one of those one day. I think that would be pretty cool.
Do that for sure.
You tell them like, hey, it's slow season right now, or it's slow today or this week. Take this time that life, like the ups and downs of life, has given you to go spend it with your family. To, like you said, to learn what your story is, to write a few more pages on that, to grow that. Like it's factored into the ups and downs. You got that time, you got that space. So make the most of it. Don't be beating yourself down and saying like, I'm going to lose my job. Like this, it's not going well right now. Like, no, like take that time and take the opportunity that is to take it into your next rise, into your next peak. And then your peak's going to go higher because you're better. You can climb higher now. You're stronger.
I agree. Josh, these are excellent points. I have a question for you. Would you, if someone were to message us and ask, could they sit down with you and just kind of tell them, like, lay out like on one sheet of paper how to get their brand going? Could you do that?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to work with
How long do you think that would legitimately take to lay it out? Because to me, it feels like it's almost simple once you know. It's like if you know type of thing. And I think marketers and Google and a lot of different platforms have made it, Yelp and all these people that have Home Advisor, Angie Leads, the bane of service providers' existence, have made it feel like you can't do business without them. And I know we strongly disagree. Matter of fact, we don't even use them. So if you know, do you think you could lay that on a piece of paper for a guy if he came in?
Yes. And my answer to how long it's going to take is, to me, directly proportionate to how open that person is.
To change.
Not even to change. Like, yes, to change, but first and foremost with who they are. If you are open with your reality about where you're at right now, I mean, that directly decides your propensity for change just from that openness, because you're like, I can see here, here, and here. I'm falling short.
Yeah.
And I'm learning these things. I'm 100% learning these skills in my personal life and being like, I got to do a lot better in a lot of things. So I'm working on it too. But if a person is willing to do that with their business and look at how that's going for them and just being honest with it, that's where you get your entire library. Like, we're building a library. That's what we're doing with our marketing and stuff like that. That's where you pull those books off the shelf from all the things that you say, all right, I'm going to just look at it. I'm not going to use generic words and say, I'm the number one, I'm the best, I'm this and that. Well, your data doesn't say that. Like, you're lying to yourself. So look at who you are. Look at where you're at and what you're doing right now. And you can pull your entire story right there, and you could fill that sheet up fast and be like, all right, here's who I am.
Goes back to transparency. People want to know what they want to know. We're in the age of information. We spend a lot of time being transparent with our pricing, transparent with our technicians, with each other. So, yeah, just let the world know. I mean, you really can't hide anyway. I mean, so you might as well be who you are, and tell your story. Somebody will identify it. It may not be for everybody, but don't be vanilla. Don't sugarcoat things. Just be you and tell your story.
Right.
Man, I really appreciate you being transparent today.
Thank you.
I think gave gave me even some more insight into you. I mean, I think I knew a lot of it, but not all of it. So, yeah, I definitely didn't think you were disorganized at any point in your life. That one, I don't know about that one.
We'll have my former teachers on
By
here,
the way,
and they'll tell.
Senior Slosh Lee did confirm Donald Miller.
Donald Miller.
So, yeah.
Yeah, pick that one up.
Yep.
I'm
That's
glad
a
I
good
did.
one. Yep. Okay. So, man, I encourage everybody to listen to these podcasts. If you like business, it's simple. We're just sharing being transparent with you on, how to grow your business, how we grow our business. And we are not experts by any stretch of the imagination, but we do have a level of success. And the cool thing is, I think we spend, outside of airtime at this point, are we spending $0 on marketing? Outside of airtime? No, we're still running some ads and things, but
it's all pretty much
geo-targeting
and things like that right
so
now.
you don't have to spend a ton of money. My competitors spend $100,000 or more a month on this stuff, if not more. We're still winning. So, be smart,
Right.
be transparent, come talk to us. We want to hear from you. If you feel like any information maybe could be capitalized on or added to, boy, I'd love to hear from you. Like if you're a business owner, you say, Justin, I don't know about that, but I think this works better. Please, by all means, come talk to us.
And I'm not an expert.
We're all in this together. No, we're not. Which is crazy. That's why this podcast came to be, because we realized that we were outperforming the quote unquote experts. And I know you all feel like that out there, that you're spending just money hand over fist to lose. Let's not lose anymore. Follow the bold white and blue, and we're going to lead you true. That's it for today, Josh.
There you go.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.